my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to attempt to replicate a door pull that a client sent to us. I saw the photos and I immediately realized, well, this is going to be 1960s, would be my best guess in terms of a vintage. Do the Pepsi challenge here. It's our original. You know, it's got a radius edge here. Ours doesn't. Got some tabs to clean off here with a file. That won't take but a minute. "120 degrees, not right. 90's more accurate, which I actually like better because how much you're removing is smaller. This is good. This dog will hunt. That's our pull handle. So the question becomes is what's the next step? I'll tell you the next step. I'm going to cut this to length, just on the chop saw. I'm going to put this in the parts tumbler, and I'm going to tumble it. Take off these sharp edges and see how that finish turns out. Clean the tabs, cut it to length, tumble it, get it to a finish that I like, meaning how much time I tumble it. Drill and tap it. That'll be it for this. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to prototype the mounting brackets in wood. I've got a piece of birch 3/4 that we'll prototype it in. We'll make sure that we get this profile exactly correct, because right now it's not correct. It would work, but since we're matching this, I want to do a better job. So the door pull itself, next. I now have to insert a different job into the workflow. I've got to make some 1/8-inch thick thresholds. I'm going to clean the table and load the piece of aluminum. Then we'll prototype. So where we're going to pick up next is, I'll probably show you some progress on the pull handle. File the tabs. I'm going to cut it to length. I'm going to start tumbling it. I've got 2 tumblers, and I'll show those to you right now. These are the 2 tumblers. And the way that these work, I'm going to show you what's happening. This is the more fine of the 2 in terms of the media that's inside of here. Oh no, forgive me. This is not the fine one. This is the more coarse. And I don't think I have any parts left in here. But we're going to throw that pull handle in here. And I'll run it for 30 minutes and we'll see what it looks like afterwards. So I'm going to finish off those tabs, I'll dress them, I'll cut it to length and I'll put it in this tumbler, and we're going to run it for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to come back to you and I'll show you what this looks like. So why don't I just finish off that bar like I've been saying. I'm going to figure out a better way than having to deal with the Dremel. There may not be a better way. I do believe that my tabs are too thick, so I think I can do a better job on making the tabs thinner. But the way that I've cut them, this does not require a lot of filing. That's great. I think 3 was a good idea for this length, but I would probably only do 3 in total, or maybe I would do more actually. We'll have to experiment with that. That tab I left high. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. I don't know where my pull handle went. You may remember where I put it. I wish you could tell me. Oh, here it is. Okay, we're gonna cut it to length next. This pole is 11 15/16, so 12 inch, right? This is a measure twice and cut once scenario. And I made the pull handle long because I had that much aluminum. There was no reason to try to make it just 12 inch. That mates up fairly well. My angle is wrong. You can see it when we do this, but I'm at peace with that because it's not 120 degrees, nor is it 90. Got some bar for the next job. All right, let's put it in the tumbler and let's tumble this bad boy. You're gonna watch me get this going. And we're just gonna see what it looks like. I don't have a lot of experience yet with these tumblers. And these are made by a company called, I think, TDP up in Minnesota. Good people up there. Dave is the guy I talked to. Troy, tops, good people, really good people. So this is a 12-hour timer. This is not very scientific. I might have to do a 1-hour run. I'm gonna set it to 1 hour. Here it goes. This is going to stop after an hour. After an hour of it tumbling, at some point we're going to come back and we're going to take a peek at this. We're getting excited now.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
Okay, so let's take a look and see what 1 hour of tumble time put us in terms of a finish. It's in here somewhere. There it is. Well, I'll tell you, it doesn't look awful like this. It still has some weird edge here, but it's nice. It's real nice. It's definitely not at a point where I would run my thumb down it though, that's for sure. This edge here is okay. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another hour. So this is 60 minutes of a, I wouldn't call this coarse, I would call this medium type of grit. Coarse, medium, fine. Because the existing is not a polished handle, I want a matte finish. But it has brought the cut end and the mill end more into uniformity together. Not exactly, but it's not awful. But I'll tell you, I think let's do 1 more hour and let's take a look and see what this is going to look like. So let's button this back up. Let's pull our pin out. Clamp me down here, clamp me down here. I'm going to put us back to another hour, approximately. And that'll stop after an hour, and we'll take a look and see what it looks like. Let's pick it up then. Okay, we've run the part for 2 hours. Let's take it out of the tumbler and see what it looks like. I'll have to rotate it slightly. Aha. That's 2 hours, and now I'm not as concerned about sliding my thumb over this, whereas before I certainly was. small amount of artifact hanging off here. Let me grab a file. And I just don't believe we're going to take off an edge like this. I'm going to do it on both faces for consistency. You know, it's a little hard on this backside. Where I broke it with the file, it's perfect now. This is going to work for me personally. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is it. This is done. So 2 hours in this coarse tumbler brought it down to a pretty consistent. I mean, I can see the tool marks on here, but it's really more of a reflection of light. I mean, the tool marks are there because there's an ever so marginally perceptive ripple that's there, but it's not, that's just going to be, I'm looking at it because I milled this. I machined this. The tabs that were there, and lots of pieces won't even have any of these tab marks because they won't have had a tab that occurred on the edge. So what I'm thinking is, I don't know if I'm going to run this one more time or not. I mean, I'm thinking I'm going to because there's, and you know, and we're only matching the existing, and the existing is much more clouded with age. Just a duller gray color. Yeah, we'll throw it in for another hour. Let's see what 3 hours looks like on this. These edges are still a little bit of an issue in the sense that as I grab the handle firmly with my palm, yeah, these edges could be broke a little bit further. We'll toss that back in there. Let's put it up for another hour. Let's get the timer. Maybe what we're going to need to do is express this in the interval of 6 hours. Maybe a much longer run is going to be necessary to make the pull handle more uniform. It's not uniform right now. I guess what we'll do is we'll head in the direction of it becoming more uniform, and we'll check back after we get that.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
Okay, we're on hour 3. Let's take another look at what we've got here and see what it looks like now. And we're going to compare it against the original, and then you're really going to see how much it's improved. And I'm starting to think that I'm going to need an additional tumbler with a very coarse media, because I'm going to want to achieve a brushed finish. And this is just not, this is not giving us brushed. This is nice, but not a true brush type of finish. All right, let's take a look. Oh, this is the deal. This is nice. 3 hours is a good number. I'm doing this because I'm showing you what the light looks like as it reflects. To me, oh boy, I like it. I like it. That's a 3 hour. That's nice. That's the real. Hey, that's it. That's it right there. That's nice. That's nice on the hand. I mean, it's a little. The original has a radiused end on it. This dog's gonna hunt. I got no problem with this. At some point, I'm going to take a piece of aluminum and I'm going to do a 1 hour, a 2 hour, a 3 hour. I'm just going to keep going. That's the deal right there. We're stopping. That's it. That softened up that edge a bit. We got a micro amount of lip on that pull. This is it. I'm not going any further in terms of a tumble on this. I like this. This is what we're doing. I love it. And I'm going to make a prediction that I'm going to want a third tumbler because that's beautiful for a matte finish. but I'm gonna need a coarse finish. This tumbler's got nothing but a polishing media in it, and we'll explore that at some point. We're gonna do a whole series on all this stuff. Probably when I get that third tumbler is what we're gonna do. Loving this, loving this. Now, let's walk over and see what it looks like compared to the original. And it is night and day. It's really night and day. It's just, you got a difference in sheen. This is nice. Nice, nice, nice. Very hard, sharp edges on the original machined piece, obviously. Original, or tumbled piece, the original piece off the tool. That's great. That's great. I can't get those. I've tried to get these screws out. I'm going to leave the path of wisdom if I try any harder. I put a heat gun on it. I just don't have a big enough hammer to get those off, so I'm going to allow that to remain a mystery. Okay, so I'm in the middle of running a different project. I've got to cut some thresholds out of this really long piece of aluminum. The next time we pick this project up, which will be hopefully later today or tomorrow, we're just going to start tool pathing the version 2 of our mounting posts. And I'm just going to use a piece of this plywood that's here. Or maybe I probably won't do it in plastic, although I might, because a job I have after these is going to involve 1.5-inch thick polycarbonate, and I want to start getting my speeds and feeds figured out. So we're going to continue on. Let's do it. Okay, so we've got a new day here. We're at a new day, and we're going to make a little bit of a time jump. And the time jump is, when last we left, this was our mounting post, and that was our prototyped mounting post. Looks great, you know, looks like it's, you know, that dog is going to hunt, so to speak. It's going to look like that. And we realized that we didn't love that first prototype against the original because, well, its dimensions weren't exact. And in fact, I was off, as I was showing you last time. You know, the geometry of what I had drawn, it was good, but because there are a pair of doors, and mine is going to be right next to one that's decades old, I said, well, I can shorten the distance here, I can do some stuff. So let me show you the second prototype. And I just went into the software, I tweaked my vectors, and made a second prototype. Well, this time I just made it out of quarter-inch aluminum because there was no reason to come up with a 1-inch piece. You know, there's really no reason for it. So, 1/4-inch piece, and here are the tweaks that I made. Well, first of all, I changed the length and the angle of the mounting post to the point that I needed to tweak it because it wasn't exact. So I drew this back a little bit, extended the length of this leg slightly, and I may have tweaked this leg slightly as well, I don't recall. The fact of the matter is it is clearly different than my original, and it is closer to... It is clearly evolved from my first prototype, and the second prototype is closer to the original. However, you can see that, yeah, it's still not perfect. So I went ahead and made a third prototype. And what did I change here? Well, what I changed was I tweaked the radius of this outside corner to better match the original, even though it's not correct. This is a larger radius compared to this. That's 1/4-inch, that's 1/2-inch. I also changed this angle of this piece very slightly, but what I also did was I increased the depth of the recess underneath that leg that mounts to the face of the door a little bit as well. And the reason I did that, I'll explain in a moment. But when I hold mine up to the original, yeah, it's not perfect. But at the end of the day, I'm done. This is it. This is what I'm going with. Now, the reason I increased that depth, that relief, the original has that relief, and it's not obvious. Well, that's broken. It's not obvious why that relief is there, but allow me to grab the reason I did it. So they're obviously bolted to the door, okay? And the way that we're going to supply these will be with riv nuts. A riv nut is also known as a surface concealed type of mount, and this riv nut would be appropriate for aluminum doors. A non-reinforced metal door, yeah, possibly, but that material thickness is quite thin. You would probably want to through bolt that. A wood door, this would not be appropriate. So we're really thinking aluminum, and in the future we'll probably develop a mounting method for wood or metal. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But the reason I increased the depth of that relief was so that the head of the riv nut would be able to sit in that relieved area and not provide any conflict with the underside of the mounting post. We want this to sit flat on the face of the door. So at the end of the day, yes, I can tweak this slightly further. We're good. So that's just, again, another 1/4-inch piece. It's going to look really nice, I think, when it's installed on the door. I think it will match. And frankly, I think the client's going to be thrilled. And yeah, it's obviously just 1/4-inch, but I think it's going to be just fine. Okay, so I am now going to take that really, if I've not shown you, you'll see it very shortly, a 1-inch thick piece of aluminum that's about 20-inch by 20-inch. My aluminum supplier calls it their drops. It's the cutoff pieces, basically. And the idea or the concept, I expect, is that they're at a reduced rate because it's a cutoff. And all I really need is a drop at this point. I need a cutoff piece. In the software, we are going to go back to nesting that we were playing with. I was leaving a 1/4-inch margin between pieces, a scaffolding or a skeletal remnant of 1/4-inch. That's way too thick, I've learned. It's going to be 3/16. It may be 1/8. It's probably going to be 1/8 because this aluminum is still so tough. So let's probably switch to the software and let's get a nested final determination. I'm going to place the aluminum on the machine where I want it, into a zone. I'll probably run a vacuum, and we're just going to see what happens. So let's dive into this. Let's get the machine running and let's get parts being cut.
Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.